Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome. My name's Christina and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. I was unsure if I was going to film this video, but I am here. I'm ready to film it. This is my Sephora savings event haul. I did a couple of orders. I did some in-store shopping. I did some online shopping. I thought it would be fun to compare it to my Sephora savings event wish list. I did that video a couple of videos back, just kind of like window shopping for some products that I was interested in purchasing. Some of them I did pick up, some of them I did decide to pass on, and it was either just because like I was no longer interested, or maybe there was something else that was a little bit more interesting to me whenever I was shopping in store. So I will be going over all of that. I have tried everything in this box, I'm pretty sure, except for maybe one set. So as we go along, I will be telling you guys exactly my thoughts on everything that I picked up. So if this is something that you're interested in, maybe it'll help you decide on something that you're debating on, then let's get started. First of all, I want to say that it is extremely hot in my room right now. It was a very hot day today, and this room, it gets really hot in the afternoons, and I've been trying to cool it down all day, and it is still super hot. I turned the AC down in our home and it's still hot, but as I was doing my makeup, I was sweating, guys. If you see me sweating, that is why, because it is hot. Anyways, I made my very first order during the sale right after midnight. I was actually still in New Orleans at the Creators and Friends trip, and I made my Sephora order as I was packing my suitcase to go home. I wanted to get a couple things ordered sooner rather than later because they were things that I thought would sell out quicker, and also I just wanted to make sure that I got this video up as soon as possible. One of the things that I ordered during that very first order, which I'm very glad I did, is this little discovery set from Forever Mood. Forever Mood is Jackie Aina's brand, and she's been recently branching out into fragrances. I actually did not know that until some of the girls on the trip were talking about it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I really want to try some of her fragrances. So I got this little discovery set, and I'm so glad that I did, because by the time I had woken up that morning, it was sold out. So ooh, good job to me. This comes with her 4 different fragrances: I Am Her, Hard to Get, You Remind Me, and NDA. I'm really bad at describing fragrances. I actually got so many recommendations from the girls on the trips because they have exquisite taste when it comes to fragrance. So I Am Her has notes of red velvet, pear, and raspberry. To me, honestly, it mainly just smells like raspberry, but it's a little bit warmer. I don't really smell any red velvet. Hard to Get is probably my favorite one. This one is described as lemon, jasmine, and vanilla frosting. I smell a lot of the lemon and vanilla frosting, so to me it smells like a sweet lemon sponge cake almost. I think that maybe the jasmine in it kind of grounds the scent a little bit more, so the citrus is not too bright and like fruity, you know, so it kind of like rounds it out in my opinion. I really like it, and I did spray it on my wrists earlier. I actually sprayed 2 different scents like from this discovery set just to see how it laid on my skin, and I really liked the way that Hard to Get warmed up on my skin. Next is You Remind Me. This one has notes of apricot and white florals, and for me this is probably my least favorite, mainly because it smells like more of a mature scent. It's not really something that I would typically wear, and I think that this falls into the category of scents that just don't really sit well on my skin. And lastly, we have NDA. This one has notes of tobacco flower, spiced rum, and vanilla bean. I thought this one would be my favorite, and it smells really nice. There's a very subtle hint of that tobacco flower, so it's not overpowering at all, and I feel like I smell more vanilla and like a note of spiced rum, and then I smell the tobacco flower come in at the very end. This smells really nice. This kind of is on the cusp of being a little bit too spicy for what I typically go for, but again, I feel like the vanilla bean in it kind of like makes it a little sweeter, so it evens it out and balances it really nicely. I don't know if this one sits on my skin very well. I did spray this one on my other wrist and it smells okay. I'm gonna have to test these out more, obviously, like I have the little discovery set. For me, I like a more clean, fresh, skin-like scent, but I'm also noticing that I'm liking very light floral. I'm glad that I was able to get my hands on this one, and I'm really excited to keep trying these out. Next, I did get the Bumble and Bumble Thickening Dry Spun Texture Spray Light. This is the newest version of the texture spray, and the light one is supposed to be made for medium to thick coarse hair. I do have more thick hair. I don't really have coarse hair, but I have a lot of hair. I was really excited to get this one. I don't think that it smells exactly like the original. It's been so long since I've used it, but I did use it today, and I will say that I like the way it feels in my hair. I can still feel it, but it's a very, very light feeling in the hair. The very ends and like just the top layer of my hair is where I feel it, even though I sprayed all in my hair. And I like that. I like that this isn't like overly holding my hair. Like it's not making my hair super casty. You know, I think it does smell like the original now that I'm like spraying it more, but I like how light this feels in the hair. I feel like it's given me a lot of texture. I think it's given me a lot of body. I did get a haircut yesterday though, so that may be playing a major role in like how my hair looks right now. I did not get it styled though. I did style this on my own like a couple of hours ago. I think it's looking pretty good. The layers are looking nice, but overall I am liking that texture spray. I was in need of a new texture spray, and I'm excited about this one because I think it's going to be a really good double for a texture spray and a hairspray at the same time. I guess I'll talk about the other fragrance I got because I did get another one. This is Flur Father Figure, and I have it right here. And you guys, it's kind of funny because a couple weeks back, I want to say maybe a month or two ago, I went into Sephora and I was smelling a bunch of different fragrances because I've been wanting to explore more fragrances. And I sprayed this one on my wrist and my arm and stuff, and I came home, I was trying to like smell it, see how I felt, and I really didn't know how I felt about it. I liked it, but I wasn't sure if it was something that I would love and want to continue to use. I had my husband smell it and he liked it, but I was still like, I don't know. And then when I went on the Creators and Friends trip, some of the women on the trip actually had this on. I'm pretty sure Kaki had this on one of the nights, and she passed by and everyone was like, what is that smell? And she said she was wearing Fleur Father Figure, and I was like, okay, this is gonna really sell me. During that first purchase, I did end up picking this one up, and I am so happy with it. It is the most fresh scent, but the fig in this is so strong. It smells like a very sophisticated fruit sort of scent. So again, since I'm not great at describing scents, this has notes of water lily, lush fig, and cassis buds. The heart is orris root, iris flower, and jasmine dew. And the base is skin musks, vanilla, Madagascar, patchouli leaf, and sandalwood. I love a good skin musk scent. I love jasmine also. I'm learning, and I really enjoy water lily as well. I think that this is such a good balanced fragrance, and it's something that's so different from other ones. This seriously doesn't smell like anything else I've ever smelled. If you like something fresh and skin-like, but you also want something that's going to smell really nice during the summertime, this is just absolutely perfect. It hasn't given me a headache. That's one big thing about me when it comes to fragrances, is that I get headaches pretty quickly when a fragrance is just like too much for me, and this has not done that to me, thank goodness. And I am waiting to get my hands on Fleur Mood Ring, because the last time I went to Sephora, I did spray the tester, and I waited, and you know, for a couple of hours I was just sniffing my wrist, and immediately I loved it. And throughout the next couple of hours I still was like sniffing my arm. I couldn't stop. I could not stop. Since then it's been out of stock, so I am really hoping that it comes back into stock, because I need that. I need it in my life. And surprisingly enough, that one is supposed to be like a fruit gummy scent. There's other notes to it, but mainly like it's fruity, it's gourmand. And that's not usually like me, but there's something again about that fragrance that is so bright and uplifting. and it doesn't turn sour on me, which a lot of fragrance tend to do. They turn either too warm or like sour almost on me if it's more like citrusy or gourmand. That one did not turn whatsoever. It kind of warmed with my skin and it was the nicest scent. I just love it. So those are all my fragrances. Next up, I want to talk about what's on my lips. This is actually the only thing, plus a lip liner that I already own, that's on my lips. I did not buy any other lip products. I did have this one on my wish list. If you guys watch my Build My Sephora wish list with me, this was the lip product that I really wanted, and I'm very, very happy with it. I am happy to say that it is very similar to that e.l.f. lip oil that I was talking about in that video, but this has such a beautiful peppermint scent to it. It's kind of like peppermint candy instead of being like minty, you know, like it's a sweet peppermint, and I absolutely love that about this. I don't think it has any plumping, tingly feeling to it, at least I don't remember, but I love the way this smells. It's sheer pretty much, it doesn't go on green. However, I do think that as I put this on, like while I was doing my makeup, I kind of felt like my natural lip color was being enhanced. Like I feel like the pink in my lips was even more pink. I don't know if it's just because the gloss was just bringing out more pigmentation from my lips or if this was actually doing anything. Either way, I'm really, really enjoying this. It has a really, really nice oil feeling. It's slightly more lightweight, but it does give you the feeling of hydration that lip oils tend to do. It doesn't feel like a gloss whatsoever, which I'm very pleased about. I'm really glad that they stuck to more of an oil feel versus like lip gloss feel, because this is something that I want to be able to use morning and night as well as just throughout the day as an actual lip treatment. So I'm very, very happy with this purchase. Next up, we have the little, like the mini Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow Foundation. I talked about this in my wishlist video. I got the shade 2N26, and honestly, when I was putting this on, guys, I feel like maybe it is a little bit too dark for my skin tone. Whenever I went in initially to get shade match for this a couple weeks ago, I was asking a Sephora beauty advisor like her opinion on a couple of the shades, and she did say that this one probably was going to be the best match for me. I didn't have a perfect match, but this was going to be the best match, and I did say that I do tend to get more tan in the summertime, so she did say, yes, I think this would be a good match for you. So currently it is a little bit darker, even for like matching my actual body. I think it's a little bit dark. I think I made it work. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think about this shade match. This is what I have on my face right now. I think I kind of balanced it out with some concealer, so it's looking okay, but in the clip here of me applying it, I definitely am aware that it's a little bit warm for me, or it's not even warm. I think it looked a little bit peach for me. I'm not even sure. You guys let me know what you think, but overall, the actual finish of this, it is very glowy. It is like super, super glowy, super greasy, dewy type of thing, which is something I love, but I know it's not made for oily skin like mine. But I don't know, I still like it. I love a good like hydrating foundation, and then I like to just powder it down. Like I would much rather start off with a dewy foundation and then go in with the powder versus starting with like a matte foundation, you know? So for me, so far, I'm liking it. Other than the shade match, I have to play around with it a little bit more. It is quite dewy though, I will say, so if you are not one to like a dewy foundation, you will probably have to skip this. Next up, I do have one of the new Haus Labs Color Fuse blushes in the shade Fire Moon. I really debated on getting Fire Moon and French Rosette, which is the more pinky shade, but I went with Fire Moon, and this is so incredibly beautiful. I have it on today, and on my cheeks, it is a beautiful flush without looking like actual blush. You know what I mean? Like this gives me beige blush vibes, and I just love it. I love how buildable this is. This is definitely my favorite shade of the Haus Labs blushes. Now, they did make these blushes a lot smaller. I'm sure you guys are aware of that now. I did not know that when I first talked about the new release of these in my purchase or pass video. It's a lot smaller, but I will say I don't mind how small the pan is because these blushes are super pigmented, and I most likely will never go through one of these blushes anyways. But I think what people have issue with is the price either hasn't changed or it's gone up and it's a smaller pan. So I totally get that. I really do. I do think that it sucks that they made it a lot smaller for either the same price or more. I can't fault the actual product because it's blendable, it's buttery. The shade is absolutely gorgeous. I think that this has easily become one of my favorite blushes, and I got it like a week ago. So that says a lot to me. I'm very, very happy with this purchase. I'm very tempted to get French Rosette, but honestly, I need to remember that the reason why I love this so much is because of the shade. And if I get a different shade, then I may not love it as much. I did get 2 of the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize eye colors. I got the shade Oyster Pearl and Chocolate Bronze. I actually think about these shades every time that a sale comes up. If you guys are longtime viewers, you know that Amber Gold in this formula is one of my favorite all-time favorite one and done eyeshadows. They're just lovely. I love how moussey these are. I love the creaminess, the blendability of this. You can literally blend this in with your fingers and you get no streakiness. The pigmentation is even throughout. Like, this could not be patchy if you tried, or at least that's my experience. And I'm really, really happy with these shades. Chocolate Bronze is that perfect one and done smoky eyeshadow color for me. I think that it is lovely. It's more on the cool tone when it comes to a brown. So here is Chocolate Bronze. It's definitely walking the line between being a chocolate color and being a taupe because of that shift in it. It does have that same beautiful kind of metallic satiny shift that the other cream shadows have. This is like so lovely as a one and done eyeshadow. If you guys have ever tried the Victoria Beckham Mink eyeshadow, that one creases like crazy on me even when I use an eyeshadow primer, but this gives me that same kind of look and feel without creasing, which is like all I could ask for, you know? And then of course we have Oyster Pearl. I think that this one is kind of like a shade that I'm like, how did I not already have this, you know? Oyster Pearl is most definitely going to be more of a true taupe shade whenever you see like that more satiny finish, but in the shift, it does have a little bit deeper of a taupe, like a little bit warmer of a taupe. So it walks the line of being almost a neutral shade on the eye. Like, I was always afraid that this one was going to look too cool and kind of ashy on me, but truly it just looks like the most beautiful shifty taupey shade without being too gray. And looking at these together, I'm like, should I mix these? Like, should I do a little eye look with the 2 of these? Maybe I will. I have nothing but good things to say about this eyeshadow formulation. If you love a good one and done eyeshadow, I definitely think that you will not be disappointed with these. I love to use these alone. I don't have to use them with an eyeshadow primer if I don't want to. But if I know that I'm going to be out in the heat, if I'm sweating, I'm out and about all day, I might use an eyeshadow primer with it just to be safe. But again, it's not always necessary for me. We do have one eyeshadow palette that I picked up. It is the Huda Beauty Creamy Eyeshadow Palette. This is the Neutral Brown Creamy Obsessions. I have it on my eyes today, and I'm pleasantly surprised by this formulation, but I will say it's kind of hard to work with, only because you don't get that same blendability that you get with a powder. It's still a cream, and for me, when it comes to creams, I typically go in with my fingertips, but I feel like for this, if you want a little more precision, you're gonna have to go in with a brush. So I'm gonna have to play around with this a little bit more. I think there's a lot more technique that goes into these. If you're not familiar with this, Huda Beauty did come out with this 9-pan alongside a more gray toned palette. They're all creams except for one setting color right here. It's such an interesting concept to me. I just couldn't shake it. I was going to get it when it first came out and I was going to review it, but then I was like, let me not. Let's just see what this is actually going to look like on everyone. When the sale came up, I was like, I still really want it. I did have to stick my finger into that middle one because I was so curious as to what shade that was going to be. It is a mid-tone brown, which I'm not mad about. I actually really like that brown. brown. I used it like in my eye look today, and I mixed these two shimmers. I have this one in my inner corner, and then I have this all over the eyelid. What else? You guys will see in the demo here all the shades that I used, but it's really nice. It's a little bit more subtle than I anticipated. I kind of feel like this is going to be something that I mainly use as like a smoky eye, like an easy smoky eye, which you guys know I don't really do a lot of smoky eyes, but just looking at this, I feel like the lighter shades won't really do much. At least when I was using them, they weren't really deepening up my crease like I wanted it to. They were kind of more like eyelid colors, you know what I mean? So I really only had like these deeper browns to play with to darken up my crease. So overall, the look just ended up being a little bit darker. I'm not mad at it, but I also am not in love with it. If you're curious like I am about this setting powder, I did like tap this all over my eye after putting all the creams down, and it didn't move anything. It didn't change the color of anything, so I was really pleasantly surprised by that. Overall, I think that this is going to take a lot more practice than, well, no, I kind of anticipated that it was going to be a little bit more difficult to use, so I'm just gonna have to play with this a little bit more. I'm not hating it, but I'm also not like head over heels with it, you know? I did pick up one Giorgio Armani eye tint shimmer. This is in 10S Chestnut. This is a beautiful kind of taupey cool toned shade. Like I said in another video, I've kind of been really into like cool tones recently, but I'm still learning about them on my skin tone. I'm learning what kind of cool tones will not turn gray on me, like what kind of shifts work best for me. This is a beautiful color. This is similar to the Charlotte Tilbury chocolate bronze, but I would say that this does not lean as cool as that one does. That one tends to have a little bit more of a satin metallic silver to it, while this also has that, but it almost leans a little brown even when it shifts. I think it's beautiful. I love that it's slightly like a pinkish brown, like you can definitely see some undertones of pink in there. However, when I put this on the eyes, when I was playing around with it, I wore it twice. It was kind of patchy. Like it did not go over my eyelid as smoothly as I wanted it to. It kind of like disappeared a little bit too much when I was blending it out into the crease. I use it with a brush. I've also used it with my fingers, and both times I feel like my eyeshadow just looked a little bit too patchy. It does dry down, which is what I wanted it to do. However, again, it's not as even in pigmentation as I want it to be. Like this right here, this is not budging, and this pigmentation is what I wanted on my eyelids. However, if I were to let this like smooth out and dry down on my lids, if I try to blend out the edges by either adding a little bit more or just blending them out in general before it dries down, it gets super patchy. You guys let me know what I'm doing wrong, because so many people rave about this. So many people have great things to say, which I'm not surprised because, you know, the swatch is incredible, but there's something weird. There's something off about it whenever I put it on. Again, this is going to be something that I have to play around with, and I'm determined to get it to work for me because the color is absolutely beautiful, but it has to be user error. I refuse to believe that it's not a good product with the amount of people that talk about it. I did end up getting the Arani Strength and Density Duo. This is the mini gift set, and I did talk about wanting to pick this up in my wish list video, and I did talk about how Arani used to be one of my photo clients when I was doing product photography. I absolutely love them. This is the hair and scalp recovery oil, and then we have the hair density boosting treatment. I actually forgot to use this today whenever I washed my hair, but I'm super excited to use these. The oil says it strengthens hair, defrizzes, and hydrates the scalp, which is lovely. The boosting treatment says it reduces shedding, improves hair density, and strengthens the roots. It says to use the oil weekly as a pre-wash treatment and the density treatment daily post-wash for healthier, fuller hair. So I can use the density treatment every day. And then this one I'm gonna have to test out when I wash my hair again. I've really been loving pre-wash oils ever since I used the Fable and Mane one. I have never looked back. They really help with my scalp health. I've noticed that I don't have as many flakies. My scalp has completely like turned a leaf. Is it turned a leaf? Turned a new leaf? Yeah, I think the term is turned a new leaf. And I'm just excited about the density one. This I did not buy during the sale. I actually bought it right before my trip, but I thought I would talk about it because you guys have asked me about this product. This is the Ilia Skin Rewind Complexion Stick in the shade 18N Hawthorn. I did go into stores and swatch all of them to see which one I thought was going to be my best shade. I like how it has Ilia embossed in there. I think that's really cute. Like, I really like that touch. And I do think this little thumbprint thing is a cute little touch. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe that will be really helpful because foundation sticks and stuff, people do tend to drop more often, I think. I don't know. Am I making that up? I do still want to do a wear test on this. That will be coming. So just hang tight on that. And the next couple of things are just restocks that I want to show you guys. Just cause, oh, actually this is not a restock. This was a point perk, I think. The Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick in the shade Golden Pink. It's just a mini little one. I think it was like 100 point perk and I was like, oh, I want to try it. I think that they reformulated their eyeshadow sticks. I was never a huge fan of their eyeshadow sticks. They didn't perform the way I ever wanted them to, so I thought I would give this one a try. And this color is so beautiful. It's definitely a golden pink. I would not call this a rose gold at all because it does lean more gold with just a hint of pink there. So I'm really excited to try this one out. I think that this is going to be a beautiful one and done shadow. And really quickly, just speeding through these, I got a refill of my Kosas Brow Pop Nano in the shade Brown Black. I've gone through at least 3 or 4 of these in like 6 months. I don't know, something crazy like that. But the best detailing eyebrow pencil I've ever used. I can say that confidently. And then we have the Colfi Main Match Concealer in the shade Mango Drop. This is one of my holy grail concealers. This is my original tube of it. You can see it's pretty much getting scraped around. I just can't see myself without this concealer at this point. This one has been my go-to even more than the Kosas Revealer Concealer, and you guys know that's a big deal because I've been using the Revealer Concealer for years, like religiously, but the Colfi one, it matches perfectly. Like, it is a perfect match for my skin. It's hydrating, but it's not greasy. It gives me amazing coverage. It's just the absolute best. I did pick up a new Dew Air Angel. I did talk about this in my Sephora Empties video. Go watch that video if you want to hear me talk more in depth about it. But I love a gel cream moisturizer, but this one especially is plushy. It's bouncy, and it actually feels silky on the skin. I can't even explain it because it's a gel, so it shouldn't feel silky, but it just does, and it makes my skin so plump and beautiful. I have not had any issues with breaking out with it. I honestly feel like my skin recently has been doing really well, and I'm too scared to touch my skincare routine and try other products, so I've just been sticking to what's been working for me. And of course we have the Bobbi Brown Corrector. This is in the shade Peach. My other one is like pretty much empty. It's just the edges now that is left. It is getting rivaled though by the Sigma Spectrum Color Corrector Duo in the shade Medium Dark. We also have a lighter one, and we can also mix them. Like, this is incredible. They pretty much have the same texture, if I'm being honest. This, I would say, is slightly creamier. This does have a little bit more tackiness, a little bit more grip to it, but both of them are creamy and grippy, so they don't move around whenever you place concealer or foundation on top of it. Do you guys want to see my free samples that I got? Ranavat. I realize that I don't know how to say this. I've never said it out loud, but it's the Fortifying Hair Serum. I do love a good hair packet. I got the Orbe Gold Lust mask. Oh, look, I got two of them. First Aid Beauty Brighten and Glow Moisturizer with vitamin C. I actually don't think this is the one that I chose, but you know, sometimes they run out of the sample that you pick, so they just stick something else in there. And the Youth to the People Adaptogen Deep Moisture Cream. This one I thought would be really nice to test out for nighttime because it is supposed to be more moisturizing. That was everything that I hauled from Sephora for the sale. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys ended up picking up, or if you're going to be skipping the sale this time around, which honestly, props to you. That is something that I should have done. I am decluttering my makeup collection currently, so I kind of justified it that way, but honestly, I have enough makeup. It's just like I wanted these things. If you guys do end up wanting to shop the sale or purchase any of the products that I suggested to you guys, make sure to shop through my links. Those are affiliate codes, so I do get a little bit of commission whenever you shop through my links. But if you don't end up using any of mine, please consider using one of your favorite influencers or one of your favorite content creators' links, because it helps us out so much. It allows us to keep creating these videos, keep trying products out to recommend to you guys, and just help you guys overall make better buying decisions. So we always really appreciate that. Let me know if you have any questions for me, any comments. I hope you found this helpful. I hope it was informative for you guys. If you did like it, if you enjoyed it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.